Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host LovelyCheesePizza here. Welcome back. I should probably move this right off of my ear a little bit. Welcome back to Let's Play some more Gran Turismo 3, the ultimate driving simulator, and I kicked some fucking ass last episode in a very unexpected way. I really did not think that we were gonna wipe the walls with the competition at Laguna Seca. I was fully and wholeheartedly anticipating getting like a second or third place finish, or if I was going to win, it was going to be like this magical, like I'm pulling it off at the last second possible type of thing. But no, oh no, I really jumped out to a lead and maintained it and built on it drastically to the point where I basically could have driven the final lap backwards if I wanted to, and I still would have won by probably a good 5 seconds or so. So it was a delightful surprise, to say the absolute least. And so now we get to have a little bit of a break in the action here. I mean, this is still a tough race because Trial Mountain will do that to you. It's got enough corners that, you know, at any given moment you got to kind of, you know, have a little bit of apprehension on things. But I think we're going to be all right because we do have the luxury of having that one little cheese moment here right at the end, where we can gain a little bit of ground on any given lap. And because this is a 15-lap race, you gotta, you know, the question comes up again. Is there going to be a moment where any of these cars pit and give me a chance to catch up in the event that I am a little bit behind? And so I guess we're going to find out now, aren't we? This guy here, by the way, did not expect to see him jumping out to an early lead. I mean, the funny thing is that the distribution of points outside of myself, obviously, is pretty even. Like, there's 21 points, 20 points, 18 and 17, I believe. And then there's me, who has, I think it was like 40-something or other. So it's like you know, everybody that's not me is actually, you know, pretty, you know, they're kind of running each other down a little bit. But the only thing that matters in the end is that we are the victors, and we will be. So I have a story for you guys. I saw it this morning in really the weirdest place. I did not know that Snapchat actually, you know, delivered news in any way. Like, I know that they've tried to make it a little bit more of like an all-encompassing outlet of things, because in their Discover area where you can see people's stories and whatnot, they totally have like all sorts of just random shit in there. I didn't even realize it. And I was on it this morning, and I saw that there was... Oh boy. Oh no, that's not the time for that. No way. Okay, here we go. I saw there was an article, and I wasn't sure necessarily that I had read it correctly. And then I tapped on it and I was like, what the fuck is this? Are you nuts? Like, why would a person ever think of doing this? Yet again, I totally thought this was going to be a story that was going to have occurred in like the state of Florida, because that's where everything else that's ridiculous happens, outside of, you know, my own home state, of course, because people are fucking idiots. But no, this actually happened in Ireland. This apparently had come out of like one of the medical journals in Dublin, and it is quite possibly one of the most just like cockamamie, just bullshit. Why would a human being even consider thinking that that is a plausible idea for medicinal treatment for anything? And, you know, I'm glad you got everything that you had coming to you, because you need some serious, serious mental help and probably a number of other things. So what happened was, some guy, he was in his mid-30s, I think he was like 33. He had to go to the hospital to get, I don't know if I can't remember whether it got infected or, well, no, it got infected. Yes, it did. But I don't remember. I think he just had to go and get it drained and probably do numerous courses of antibiotics or something, because this guy had developed this huge, huge pocket of pus on his forearm, like to the point where it was bulging so much that it looked like a bicep. Like, it looked like his forearm had a fucking bicep on it, which was creepy as all hell to look at. And so I read down a little bit further, and it's like the reason why he had that is because for the last X amount of months or whatever, this guy had been self-treating himself for back pain. No fucking joke. He was treating his own back pain by injecting semen into his arm. It was for a means of treating back pain. How the fuck does that even make any sense? I don't even understand the logic. Like, what is the thought process there? Where did he read anywhere that is in any possible way? Like, I understand the, you know, your own slaw there, you know, has quite the concoction of protein and vitamins and minerals and shit in it. Not actual feces, but whatever. But it doesn't contain just the magical anti-inflammatory and, you know, joint and pain repair for fucking back pain. Like, what is, like, so what is the guy doing? He's just like, you know, every once a month, he's like, all right, time to go fill her up. He just, like, goes into the bathroom and grabs, like, a glass bowl and just yanks his fucking Voorhees in there and then just grabs a syringe and fills her full. Like, how much was he putting in? That's the other part that wasn't, I don't think it was actually, you know, I don't think that information was given, but, like, how much was he shooting up? And where? Like, was he shooting it into his veins, or was he just, like, shooting it just blindly into his arm? I don't, there's so much I need to know, but they showed, like, an x-ray picture, and you can see, like, you know, vaguely where he was putting it in, and, like, the pocket of just fluid was so big. It was just disgusting. And, oh my god, it was so funny. I almost pissed my pants. You know, just laughing uncontrollably. Which, you know, by this guy's logic, I should have just taken my own piss and filled it up with a, you know, with a syringe and shoved it into my ass or something to treat, like, you know, gout or something. You know, like, it just, like, and if anything, like, why is the dude injecting it into his arm for back pain? Like, wouldn't you inject it into your back for back pain? Like, I mean, the idea of treating the affected area seems, you know, probably like a better idea than saying, well, I'm going to treat some headaches by shooting something into my foot. You know, just a little bit off, I think. But, what are you going to do? So that is a thing. Like, I mean, we're talking, this is Ireland also, and, you know, like, half of the country is drunk at all times. So I would not be in the slightest bit surprised if the idea was concocted while he was drunk, and then every time he administered said medicine, if you could even call it medicine, he was also drunk. Would not be at all surprised. But that's a thing. That is a form of medicinal treatment that a person tried to give themselves, and I wish I would have been a fly on the wall for that conversation when he went to the hospital. Like, Jerry, you mind telling me where in the fuck you came up with an idea like that? Like, what possessed you to do it? Well, you know, I figured that, you know, I could just, the cure's in the cupboard, you know. What cupboard? My cupboard. The empty syringe that I filled with my own shits. I figured, you know, your human body should be able to produce the cure for all ailments. Oh, boy. So, that's the thing. You can't unhear it. You can't necessarily unsee it. If you're the type to envision. But, oh boy. The world is a weird, weird place, is it not? So, yeah, man. So, in other news, actually very big news, very awesome, super awesome news. So, now that my grandma has passed away, we're kind of slowly hitting that process now where we're kind of going through some of her possessions, and my parents have some legal things that they have to do to, you know, take control over some of her assets so that it can be put into a trust and all these things, because that was at the request of my grandmother. That's how that goes. And so they're in the process of selling her car right now. And my parents totally did some shit on a different level for my birthday this year. Had no idea it was coming. So on my birthday, it was a week ago today. We went out to dinner, and when we came home, I got to open up my birthday card, and my dad was super sick, and so he didn't get to go to dinner. And so in the card, he was the one that wrote everything down, and he was, cracking jokes while he, in there, just trying to keep the lighthearted part of it up. And then I saw there was writing on the other side of the card, and these motherfuckers are totally going to buy me a new laptop for my birthday. I literally, not to sound like a puss, but I legit almost, I started welling up with tears when I read that, because, I got mine stolen. And, obviously I don't have the money to buy another one. I've got a family of, I've got a family of fucking 5, and we're, trying to make ends meet right now while we're saving up to, get our own place, and obviously a laptop wasn't going to be fitting into that anytime soon. And here my parents come throwing the damn EFIS pitch, when I'm not even paying attention, and now they're going to totally buy me a brand new laptop for my birthday, so that, I'll be able to have that back, and be able to do my video editing stuff, and be able to have, my workstation so that I can do, all the bookwork and stuff like I was doing, and just have it for whatever I need, so that way I'm not using my dad's laptop, which, no slight to the man, but that thing is about 40 levels slower and more cumbersome to deal with than the one that I was using. And, we don't even have a work computer in the office at work right now because, that thing was absolutely toast. And so, that's all that they want to do, and I was absolutely blown away by that. It was just a really, really awesome gesture. And so I've had the pleasure of being able to, do some laptop shopping online, just, getting back into the market for that kind of thing, because realistically, outside of this tower here that I built myself, about 5 years ago, I haven't even bothered looking at what computers are like right now. I've spent the last couple of days doing it, and I'm just sitting here like, holy shit, man, they are doing some wild ass things. I totally played a joke on my parents, because they didn't give me a price range to work in at the time, and so I was like, I'm just gonna do this just to screw with them. And so I walked up the other night, and I was like, hey, so I've been doing a little bit of research on ones that I'd like, and my mom's like, yeah, which one did you come up with? And I was like, oh, nothing crazy, just this one right here. And I showed it to him, and it's totally like this super ridiculous, like top of the line everything MSI gaming laptop. And it totally retails for fucking $4,000. And my mom, just like watching her reaction to it, was totally worth the price of admission, because she, like, her eyes basically fucking dilated. She was just like, whoa, yeah, how about no? She's like, we're definitely gonna get you one, but we're not fucking made of money. She didn't say it that way, but she's like, yeah, nice try. Think again. But I totally found this awesome deal on Newegg, and I'm really hoping that it'll be inside of their price range to do, because it is this, like, mystical deal that I don't even know how it even exists, because it doesn't make sense on why they would be selling a computer of that power for that cheap. And I don't remember all the specs right now, but it's a Samsung. I've totally never owned a Samsung computer, but all the specs look pretty damn good. It's quad-core processors, speed's pretty damn good. It's got good storage. Also has solid-state hard drive in there. It's dedicated. Its RAM is fucking crazy. It's got a whole bunch of dedicated video RAM. It's fantastic. Like, it is, even for the Lenovo that I was using for a long time, that was top of the line at its time. This thing is a huge cut above. and it normally would retail for $2,000, and they're selling it for like 70% off, and they're selling it for like $679. I was like, holy shit! Like, how? How and why? I mean, and the crazy thing is that they only had one in stock on Newegg. So it's not like they had a whole bunch of them, they're trying to get rid of them, but it is on clearance, and it's like, why is that? I don't know why they're getting rid of them, and it's not like it's refurbished or anything like that. It's not used, it's brand new. It's a Samsung Odyssey, which I did a little bit of, I was kind of looking around for some user reviews, and people seem to like them. So it's kind of my prime target right now, and it's awesome looking. It's white, and I've never owned a white laptop before, but I'm kind of super down with it. The way the laptop looks, it's just fucking gorgeous. It is a beautiful looking machine, and if that could be my new deal, if they can swing that, because they're gonna help me, you know, get this thing right after they sell my grandma's car and get the money for it. So it's gonna be awesome, man. I'll be kind of right back at the top of my game here yet again. I'll be able to actually, you know, edit and upload videos while I'm at work instead of, you know, necessarily being here in the office at like all hours of the night trying to do it, because it's literally the only place that I can do it. So it'll be a massive lift off my shoulders to be able to do that. So super excited. So I just wanted to update you guys on that because I thought it was a pretty important thing. P.S. We are just myrtleizing these guys. I mean, this isn't even close. Like, I had a feeling we were probably going to win this one, especially for sections like this where our power is just so much higher, but I did not think that we were going to just totally wreck them like this. I think if we were doing this course backwards, though, I don't think the spread would be quite like this, because I still don't really have the same feel for the track doing it in that orientation. But this one, it's like riding a bike with 4 wheels and 1,000 horsepower. I don't think that they would call that a bike anymore. Not as far as I'm aware. So, one other thing, since we've only got a couple laps left, this has gone by a lot faster than I anticipated. I saw that this new series on Netflix is just like totally captivating people, and I haven't seen enough of it to really be able to get all the way into it, but I know that I'm gonna love it. It's another one of those kind of like serial killer special edition type things, and it's the Ted Bundy files, and oh my god, I've got a thing. I love shows about serial killers. Like crime shows are like my favorite thing, which is why I watch Forensic Files like a really large percentage of my life. But I love crime shows, especially stuff on serial killers, because I love trying to get inside the mind of them, try to, you know, and really to learn more about it, because there's a bunch of serial killers out there that, you know, there's still new information coming out in certain capacities. And I saw another thing yesterday and it was a really interesting statistic, that of a high majority of the mass murderers in America over the last, like, we'll call it like over the last like 100 years, like almost all of them have one of 3 different astrological signs or whatever, or horoscopes or whatever the fuck it is. I never know what the proper terminology is for it. I guess it's one of the 2 of those. And I guess all of them are either, what is it, a Gemini, I think it was Gemini, a Pisces, or like a Sagittarius. I think that was the 3 of them that it was. And it's weird. It's like, what are the odds that a pattern like that would form? Like there's like no Capricorns in there, like no Libras, no Taurus or Cancer or any of that kind of. It was just, they were all within the same 3. It was so weird. So, guys like Ted Bundy and Ed Gein and I think even like Richard Kuklinski and Jeffrey Dahmer and all those guys. They were all born somewhere in the same months. That's so weird how that happens. But I'm really excited to see that, because Ted Bundy was a fucking psycho, dude, and being able to learn more about all the stuff that he was actually doing, and I think there was actually like live interview stuff with him, so intrigued by it. But it also kind of reminded me, and I think I've kind of talked about this a little bit a couple of times on this channel, but it also kind of sparked my memory on a serial killer that actually used to live right here in my hometown, for those of you that don't know. I don't remember exactly what, I think it was in like the 60s, because he was incarcerated. He was the longest tenured incarcerated inmate in the state of Oregon, and he was incarcerated for like 34 years, so that would put it, in 2006 was when he died, because he had to serve numerous life sentences, I believe. He died in 2006, which 34 years would be, in the 70s. So this was, I think, going on in the 60s. So it was a long time ago, but I think he killed like 5 or 6 people, and they called him the Lust Killer. His name was Jerry Brudos, and he lived like no more than about 5 blocks away from where I work. No fucking joke. He lived in this little house that's like right over by where a pizzeria is now, and what he used to do is he used to lure teenage girls into his basement, and he'd do all sorts of crazy, like he'd kill them, and he'd do all sorts of crazy, like, necrophilia type acts on them, and then for some of them, if he deemed them worthy, if he deemed them worthy, he would totally, chop up some of their body parts and put them in the freezer to save for various purposes, whether it was for, like yanking himself off, or he also did things like there was one of his victims, he cut off her foot and put it in the freezer and then used it to model high heels with, because he had this crazy fetish for women's shoes, and so he used to do that sort of thing. Like for one of them, he cut off a girl's tit and put it in the freezer, and then also used it for like doing some type of molding. The guy was, and like for the bodies, when he had what he wanted off of them, he would tie their bodies to cars, and he'd just go and dump the cars in the Willamette River. he'd just go and send it off in there. It was crazy. And I remember my grandpa telling me all about this guy when I was a kid, and it freaked me the hell out. And every time I go downtown from work, I drive right by his house, and it makes my skin tingle, because the dude just got away with it for a long time. Like, it was just, it was just, because I guess the guy was like relatively pretty personable, and nobody had any idea. It was a kind of a very Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman type of thing, where he had 2 different lives going on. In one life he was like a family man, this no big deal, and on the other side he's just an absolute psycho murderer. But I mean, Richard Kuklinski was like a mercenary, though. I mean, he would go and just kill people for whatever reason. But Brudos was just a guy that he had like a crazy fetish, and the only way that he could live it out was to kill people in order to get what he wanted. And they finally found out about it, and oh boy, shit hit the absolute industrial size fan, because he was a big dude, and yikes. So, serial killers, and injecting yourself in the arm with jizz to cure your back pain. That's where this conversation went tonight. But hey, we won by a lot. It wasn't even close, and I'm pretty down with that. So, with that said, my friends, when we come back on the next installment of Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, the Ultimate Driving Simulator, we got, I don't know how many races are left. I'm really hoping it's not 10, but I'm starting to think that it's 10. And I'm beginning to think that it's a possibility that we may lose a couple of these at the end, because our overall power in the car is going to start dwindling even more because of how badly we need that oil change and how much the game won't give it to me. So, yeah. What are you going to do? So, with that said, my friends, we'll come back next time. We'll have more probably ridiculous stuff to talk about. And we'll see if we can get the new win streak of 2 going strong up to 3. So, with that said, this is your host, LovelyCheesePizza, saying thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Stay away from those needles, and stay away from your balls, unless you have to. Bye, guys.